Survivors, families, and Indigenous communities have been clear from the start. Truth must come before reconciliation. It's taken too long to fully grasp the painful truth about residential schools and the racist and colonial policies that have denied Indigenous people their rights, their realities, their families, and their cultures. Last year was a turning point for all Canadians. The identification of unmarked graves at former residential school sites across the country was tangible and painful evidence of the abuse that Indigenous children have suffered at residential schools. As part of this obligation and the broader objective of reconciliation, on December 10th, I committed that my department would hand over a series of residential school documents in their possession to the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation within 30 to 45 days. Today, we follow through on that promise. The Government of Canada, the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation have developed a memorandum of understanding and agreement that covers the sharing of documents related to the history and administration of residential schools across Canada. The agreement was needed to ensure that documents can be shared safely and securely to protect the privacy of survivors and in a way that responds to the needs of the centre.
The NCTR currently holds almost 7,000 survivor statements and over 5 million records. However, we know this is still not a complete picture and records remain missing. This means that important truths of the experience of residential school survivors and actions of the Canadian government remain untold. The new Memorandum of Agreement between Canada and the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation will see the transfer of more records of residential school survivors to the centre. This is an important step on the journey of reconciliation. It is a step that is frankly long overdue. Nonetheless, I want to acknowledge Minister Miller and his staff for the commitment that they have made. These records include TIF documents, school narratives, and legible versions of documents that have been corrupted through the electronic conversion, updated versions of documents already obtained, and new narratives of residential schools that we have not received to date.
As a survivor, we have to acknowledge our shared history, where we've come from, where we're at today, and where is it that we're going to go into the future. That is so very important as we move forward together based on truth, based on telling and speaking our truth. And so that this is very important, and that the records that will be handed over will be a way to get at the truth, to be able to tell our stories, to be able to validate and acknowledge where we have come from as survivors, as a country.